what is up, you fucks? We are back with another edition of the Doom Scroll Cast. It is me, Lord Botha. We are back again this week, and we have several things to talk about. Hope you guys are doing well. How was your weekend? As some streamers would ask you off the bat. I had a pretty good, I didn't have a pretty good day. I had to mow my fucking lawn today, which is a fucking chore, because my grass goes so fucking thick, so fucking fast. It's annoying. But who gives a shit about that? Anyway. We got several stories to talk about today. If you don't know anything about the show, basically, this is a pop culture podcast show, if you want to call it that. We're going to go through several subjects and anything from gaming to film, television, all that. That's what we talk about. Sometimes politics, if there's big politics story. I try to keep politics out of my channel for the most part, unless it's relative to the actual entertainment subject we're talking about. This is the one place where we get a little political. We'll talk about politics just outright. I'm pretty open about my political opinions, where I stand politically. Other than that, we typically just talk about entertainment subjects. We also, after we talk about those subjects, we spend about maybe a half hour to an hour on what we call the Doom Scroll segment, where we literally just open Twitter and we just scroll Twitter and react to some of the shit that we see. And weirdly enough, unlike some streamers, some YouTube content creators, in 15 episodes of doing the show, we've never had any nude or lewd or, pornographic content in our newsfeed just openly. Maybe it's because on my main account, I don't interact with that kind of shit. To be honest, I don't interact with that kind of shit on any account because I only have like one account. I have another, but it's a meme account that I never actually use. But yeah, I don't go to Twitter for that. And interestingly enough, when you don't interact with that shit, it doesn't end up in your feed. So you should be okay to just scroll Twitter, all right? It's not like the old days where they just used to have adult bots just spamming your feed anymore. It's not like that, okay? We are not in the act rock, put this person in a bikini era anymore, okay? Sadly. There's some pretty golden stuff that came out of that era. Anyway, so we're going to get into a few topics. Some are going to be pretty short. Some are going to be a little bit more in-depth that we talk about. We're going to talk about one of the big subjects today. Pragmata came out. It's a game. Action adventure. I've heard a lot of people describe the gameplay actually as like Mass Effect, which sounds really cool to me because I like Mass Effect. To be fair though, I always thought Mass Effect's actual like gameplay and combat was one of its weaker elements. Not that it was bad, it was just not as good as like the story and the narrative and the RPG element of it. We will also talk about, what else are we talking about? We're talking about, regarding Pragmata, some of the weird reactions, I guess you could say, in terms of the relationship it shows between the protagonist of the game and the like childlike android that is also one of the main characters in the game. Hold on. I got a highly professional streamer flicking my ring light on. You could tell, high budget, high quality stream here. My fucking camera. Every time I have to restart OBS, I'm probably zooming in and out right now. Every time I have to restart OBS, it resets the fucking camera to where it like auto zooms for you. Even though I have that shit checked off, I don't know why, so I'm going to have to go dark screen for a second and just fix this shit because it's going to drive me fucking nuts. Hold on just a second here. Hold on. So we're going to do that. We're going to open this. Properties. Configure video. Turn that shit on. Turn that shit off. Okay. 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 Now it should be fixed. I don't know why OBS wants to have the auto zoom on even though it's not turned on. I don't know why. I can't fix it. I can't get it to stop. I have to manually do it every single fucking time. Anyway. So yeah, Pragmata will also be talking about Xbox apparently has decided to just drop the prices of Game Pass. Definitely going to talk about that. What else are we going to talk about here? Gundam series. There's a Gundam movie coming out, and it looks like it could be pretty good. Weirdly enough. I don't know. The actors they have in it seem pretty solid, especially if one of them gives a very good performance in a movie that I want to say is pretty highly anticipated coming up. So yeah. But let's start with the bigger story here. So Pragmata. Let's start here. So Pragmata, I'm in the gaming screen mode. I always forget to change it over. Make me a little bit bigger. Make me large. All right. So Pragmata is a video game that released just recently, like this past week. In 2 days, it's done over $1 million in sales. That's significant. That's very, very, very quick. So, a reminder, it was like 3.3 million in 33 days for Expedition 33, right? And this is doing 1 million in 2 days. So yeah, I would say the game is doing well. Now, because the game centers around a male protagonist who comes across a female childlike, I guess I should say, android. And it has to do with their relationship and how they build this sort of pseudo father-daughter relationship or such on the way. And the game is, double A or independent, and they're not from a major AAA studio, and they promote, let's be honest here, they promote more of a normal family-like bond between a man and a child. Because this game does that, and because of the circumstances around this game, there are obviously going to be culture warriors out there on both sides that are going to take up the mantle of this game is a win for the nuclear family, right? This game promotes family values and stuff like that. Blah, blah, blah. I don't really see that inherently. I think it just shows a good bond between a good person and a child, and that good person happens to be a man, wants to take care of the child, feels a responsibility to take care of someone that is dependent on them. They're older, they're more responsible, they have a right and ability to take care of this creature, even though it's an android, right? And they effectively do that. Now, on the opposite side, and this side is far more vocal and way more annoying, you have people like Hassan Piker here. Hassan Piker, this is from Geeks and Gamers, Hassan Piker melts down over Pragmata Baby Fever, calls gamers unfuckable losers for wanting families. I don't understand why this has become a thing that they care about. So, here's the thing. This Hassan Piker, first off, not married, childless, doesn't seem like he really cares about children in any way whatsoever. So he sees all this through the lens of these, incels that, never can get women and etc. They just are filtering it through their worldview, and they're filtering it in the idea of sex and procreation, right? And the idea of starting a nuclear family is a way of, establishing, dominance and etc. etc. And he only sees it through the political view, political lens, social political lens, because there are so many people out there that can only see video games through a social and entertainment media in general in a social political lens. Okay, even Geeks and Gamers, right? This is where it's from, and Geeks and Gamers on Twitter and the actual website, they actually just report the news for the most part. They don't actually do a lot of whole editorializing opinions and all that. And Jeremy over at Geeks and Gamers, he wants it that way, and that's fine, and that's good. But the actual YouTube channel, I mean, the only show that they talk about, really the only content that they talk about, actual video game industry stuff, not culture war stuff, not culture war within video game stuff, actual video game nuts and bolts industry stuff, is maybe Tuesday night's main event, which is actually going on right now. And they only really talk about it between the 100 super chats that are roasting Fear the Beardo, which is fine and funny and all that. If you want to do that, that's fine. But it's still a channel. It's still mostly a medium that only talks about video games through the lens of the culture war, sociology, politics, all of that, This is why I think a lot of people have tired out on that. Not that they don't like that content still, and they don't. I'm not trying to say oh, those channels are dying or nobody cares. No, they do, and they're still going to go to those channels for that content. It's just people are interested in the gaming industry beyond just that. People like me have gone to sought other streamers out like Fratanga or Oh No It's Alex, things like that, to get more of a sense of the actual video game industry. But Hassan Piker and others like him on both sides, right? They only see video games through sociological and political lenses where they can have these types of arguments, where they can have these types of discussions, right? I was just watching Tuesday night's main event, and they were talking about Pragmata. They had Tectone on, which tells you just right there and then it's going to get political. And they were discussing about how this will maybe start a continuous conversation that is bigger than Pragmata about population decline and that sort of thing. And it's why? Why? There's a few others that I want to talk to. First off, there is a certain group of people here that this is affecting. And by the way, the game is doing well, right? The game is doing well. It's doing in the 30,000. I'd say the medium is 30,000s. Yeah, the medium would be about 30,000 player count, something like that. I don't remember what the peak was. I think it's in. I want to say it's in the 50,000s. I'd have to look, but I mean, it's getting good reviews as well. IGN gave it an 8 out of 10, which IGN giving something an 8 out of 10 and actually being good is fucking wild. But yeah, I mean, even if I can find it here, where the fuck is it? Oh God, so many fucking. Hold on, I gotta find it. My bookmarks are here. It is. My bookmarks are so out of order. because I just bookmark things when I see them. Like, I don't try to organize this shit. And Twitter's not very good for organizing bookmarks. I wish it was easier. But you even have fucking Kotaku here, right? Kotaku is saying, Pragmata isn't a sad dad game. It's a game that loves fatherhood, and that rules. Oh, fuck. I just realized my headphones aren't plugged in. Fuck it. Can't use sounds for a second. But we'll just continue this story. So, even Kotaku is defending this, right? Even Kotaku thinks it's good. Which is wild because Kotaku does not like anything that is nuclear family or like centers around just being fucking normal. This is the Alyssa Mercante like realm of the video game industry internet. And they put out another article here. Where do I have it all the way up here, I think. Yeah. I need everyone to start being normal about Pragmata, where they basically complain about the culture war on both sides. They're a bit more inflammatory about their language, but I mean, they're not wholly wrong here. Like, chill out. Why? That's the thing. We see a cute little kid, android, and the father figure that ends up kind of pseudo taking care of her. And by the way, they do there's a whole backstory on this guy and his character and all that. Like, he lets it known that like he was adopted himself. That's not a major spoiler, I feel, but it is important. So like he has this sort of connection with, there's this child or childlike entity that is alone and needs taken care of. And at one point he was like that, right? So he connects with that. So yeah, and this is affecting some people, right? Some people. You have people like this person right here. Interesting, we didn't see the same "this game is so base" claims about Death Stranding and Yakuza 6, both games where you take care of infants from a masculine perspective. No, for some reason, these trogs come out of the woodwork for the you-know-what here robot child game. Or, alternatively, those games were also good and people only reacted this way promoting this because you guys acted so viciously in the opposite. Maybe you guys were shooting first. Because and really what it boils down to is people got mad about these videos. There's certain videos here, and hold on, I'm gonna have to hold on. I'm gonna go on to BRB real quick, and I'm gonna switch my headphones in because they weren't in. Okay, we're back. Let's see here. All right. Does this work?
Damn.
Yes, it does. All right. So let's let's see here about this video, because what they really were getting mad at is reactions like this, right? I think this is the right one.
Yes.
Hugh.
She's so
Diana,
cute.
Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana. Hugh. Diana.
Helmet on.
Diana?
Diana.
Just puts his helmet on. He's like mid conversation. I'm out. So good.
What that like these kinds of videos are what they're mad at here.
My kids, but I like her.
Hugh. Thanks.
She is so cute, and I don't even like kids, but I like her.
Hugh. Thanks for talking to me all the time.
Did she give me a gift?
Ta-da.
Is this supposed to be when we first boarded the tram?
Uh-huh. I drew it. It's for you.
Oh, what do you
Look at
mean?
that.
I
You're
love
in
it.
too.
It's
Not
so
half bad, kid.
But she hung it up. She hung it up. So adorable. If she dies, I'm throwing my PC out the window.
So like, and there's many reactions like this, and this is saying like Pragmata might be the most effective start of family have kids message I've seen. The other video, Pragmata is destroying years of leftist programming and activating women's ovaries in real time. So like, yeah, people are mad that streamers and content creators, especially female ones who weren't really interested in having kids, are having such a emotional, visceral reaction to Diana and how cute the character is and how her interactions with this guy who becomes like a father figure to her, or at least a guardian figure, is so prominently perceived and put out there. And they're very angry about this because it's a conversion of this whole leftist idea of no, the family is bad, to now maybe the family is good. Maybe you should have a family. Maybe you should like kids. Maybe all kids aren't shit. I will say, kids aren't cute all the time. Trust me. I have a small child. She will put you through the ringer sometimes. But moments like that do happen, and they're adorable, and they make anything that's difficult about having kids absolutely worth it. But that has not stopped people from essentially only seeing predator behavior, because you have people like this that say like, it's kind of evil how Marathon gets called a flop for doing these numbers, but Pragmata doesn't, because PDF file right wingers want to blank the robot child. Yeah. It's not true. First off, you know why Marathon is called a flop? Because it's doing these numbers, and it's an online service game that cost hundreds of millions of dollars to make from a major AAA studio that's in probably a good amount of debt. So like, it's a flop based upon the circumstances and the numbers of players it's getting. It doesn't have enough players that are trafficking through the game to estimate a total amount of sales that they're spending in the game that would justify the game's continued existence. I.e., it's not making money, therefore it is a flop, right? That's why we say Marathon is a flop. This is a single player game that is not online, and from all we've heard is a one-off game. It doesn't plan to be a series or anything like that. It has nothing to do with any of the culture war stuff you just mentioned there. The very visceral and kind of disgusting culture war stuff that also isn't really correct. Because what you're really angry about is that people who aren't interested in families or children, having children, see this and they feel inspired to maybe have children, or maybe that the idea of having children isn't that bad. that there is an upside and a good feeling to having interacted with kids, right? And if your response is only to see this, right? Only to see this, when you see the positive interaction between a man and a child, especially a female child, then I think that says a lot more about you and how you perceive the world. And you might want to check yourself. Now, that doesn't mean there aren't people out there that are probably seeing this and trying to put those kinds of feelings on the game. Those people are disgusting and also probably far and few between, and probably are shamed enough that they're not going to be open and outright about those opinions, except maybe on some people online here, or especially on Reddit. But for the most part, the vast majority, it's really a celebration of the idea of a father having a positive role in their child's life, whether that's adopted or whatever. And by the way, this is not the first example of seeing things like this. However, there was one post, Mary Morgan's post. We gotta zoom in for this one. All right. Hopefully that's zoomed in enough. But Mary Morgan, if you don't know who Mary Morgan is, Mary Morgan, she's, I think, the host or at least a continuous personality on Pop Culture Crisis, which, if you don't know, is the Tim Pool Culture Show, where they talk about culture topics, kind of like this. Anything in entertainment, right? Or in pop culture, whether that's, movies, television, maybe even comics, and obviously video games. It's the kind of unk podcast where they talk about pop culture that has the type of unk opinions that you think you would get. The ancillary politics guys want to do pop culture, there's a thing, whatever you think about him, there's the thing about Benny Johnson is that Benny Johnson, he is a guy that understands the importance of pop culture, right? The importance of pop culture and its effects on a society. So occasionally he does videos on Disney or things like that. But he never does like full podcasts or analysis on pop culture, just general pop culture and the goings on there, movie industry, TV industry, video games, etc. He is very supportive of things like Geeks and Gamers. That does do that within a culture war lens most of the time. And I think that's very smart because it's a person that acknowledges and understands the importance of something, but also knows they're probably not the best authority to talk about it, so they're going to stay in their lane for the most part. Tim Pool doesn't have that same recognition. So he goes out there and he starts this show where he's like, hey, people care about us enough to listen to our political opinions and talk about politics and society and all that. They want our video game opinions and movie opinions too, probably, because occasionally we drop those during the show too. So why not have an entire podcast dedicated to that? And like I said, it's the most terrible unk opinions you're probably going to have. And Mary Morgan, I've seen some of her tweets in the past. Typically, fairly safe, conservative-leaning opinions, right? However, this post, holy shit. This is regarding Pragmata, and she starts the post off by saying, lots of strange reactions to this game. Let's clear some things up. Childless men do not have parental instincts the way childless women have maternal instincts. We observe this even in the way little girls play versus little boys. Men first experience I don't know what the fuck she means by that. Is she trying to assert that, like, oh, well, little girls play with dolls, dress up, tea party, all that. So they're wanting to, like, take care of, kids and take care of the family, cook in their fucking easy bake ovens, whatever. While boys want to go out and they want to play soldier, they want to play cowboys and Indians, they want to play pirates, stuff like that. But that's a generalization, right? And I think a heavy-handed one, because most kids want to play both, right? Especially little girls. They want to play pirates too, but yeah, they can also love Tea Party. My daughter's almost 4, she loves both, okay? But that's a generalization and assertion that I don't think can necessarily fit, right? But she goes on to state, also not backed by any evidence. She goes on to state, men first experience parental instincts once they have their own children. And typically, those paternal instincts are only ever felt for their own children and no one else's. I don't know where to start with that statement, because men first experience paternal instincts once they have their own children. Not true. Most paternal instincts for men, I believe, I don't have evidence for this, I would say happen at least right before you have your own kids, because I would hope you plan and prepare and all that to have your kids. Have some desire to want to have kids, and that desire to want to have kids should develop your paternal instincts, right? And also, just by the nature of us, like, policing our communities, right? We're part of the whole idea of it takes a village, right? And I think what her argument is trying to say is that, or maybe the counter argument to that is that society has become so focused on, or so fear-based, that we're afraid we'll get in trouble for disciplining somebody else's child when they act like a shit just in society. Because it used to be, right, like my grandmother used to tell stories where, she or her brother or somebody in the neighborhood or whatever would go over, they would come back to their parents, like, crying or whatever, being like, Mr. So-and-so spanked me. And they said, well, why? Her parents would say, well, why did he spank you? They wouldn't say, oh my God, that's terrible. Because they would just trust that the person had a good reason for laying hands on them. Because they're older and wiser, right? And their kid was probably up to no good. Now, I get that there's a certain sense of, like, fear these days of that. You don't want to get involved because of consequences that could happen. But typically, even still, paternal instincts, I feel, develop way before you have kids. And you at least consider the idea before you have kids. And it says, typically those parental instincts are only ever felt for their own children. I mean, this is just not true. I mean, you've heard of stepdads, right? Like, these are a thing that exists. Some of them never have, like, actual biological kids of their own. I got a friend that I work with. He calls his stepkids like his kids and treats and thinks of them as his kids. Has been with them for a very long time. They are his kids in his mind. He polices them like he's their father. Like, this whole concept just ignores the idea of, like, stepfathers and how important a stepfather can be in your life. My wife grew up with a stepfather. And he was a great stepdad. And he treated her like he was her dad. And did a really good job. She turned out to be a good woman. So I don't really know. I don't really agree with that either. Yeah. Men are not nurturers. That's just...
What the hell is even that? You are coping and seething.
Men are not nurturers. What are you talking about? What? Men don't gush over cute kids in public. Okay. Like, just because men don't are like, oh my god, what a cute kid, like loud and proud, doesn't mean that they don't like feel anything when they see adorable children with families or like that. It doesn't start. You know what? It increased after I had children, but even right before I had children, like when I would see like kids with their families, especially little kids with their families, I would be like, man, I want that. I want to have that. And now, especially after having my kid, like I see a cute little kid with his like dad or his mom or something like that, or a cute little baby. I'm just like, oh, that's such a cute little baby. And it gives me a happy feeling, right? Content, happy feeling. Seeing a cute little kid with their cute little baby with their family. I don't go over and gush on it, but like I do feel that. And men are not nurturers. That's just simply not true. Men take care of their kid. You know what this is? I don't know what Mary Morgan's relationship is with her father. I honestly don't. I'm sure at some point on some stream, she probably talked about it. I'm not going to go look it up. Sorry. But I feel like it's bad. Because typically, anyone who says men are not good nurturers had a bad relationship with their father. I didn't have a great relationship with my father. My father didn't take the greatest care of me. My mom and dad divorced when I was 10. Okay? But even I know that that's bullshit. You had to have a dad that really didn't care about you to think, oh, men are not nurturers. Or just be heavily invested in sociology. Isaac Martinez, what's up, bro? Nice to see you in here. But yeah, you have to be heavily invested in this idea that men are not nurturers because of whatever was done to you or whatever. By your father, or either that or you learned this somewhere in some kind of fucking sociology or psychology class. What's up, man? How you been? Pretty good, man. How are you? We're just going over some topics here. Talking about Pragmata and the dumbasses and their opinions about it. But yeah, what else did she say here? Men don't have baby fever. Again, okay, like it's
Okay.
I just don't understand. The men don't have baby fever. I wanted to have kids. Even after having a kid, I've wanted to have kids. I want to have more kids. And like, there's a difference between having baby fever, right? Which I don't know how you would define baby fever. I would define baby fever, specifically in women, as the almost feral desire to want to procreate. Almost sexual in nature. Pretty much exclusively sexual in nature. Which is different from wanting to start a family. Two very exclusive things. So, yeah, men don't have baby fever. I mean, I guess, right? I don't know. But that doesn't mean that men don't want to start a family. If a man wants to, here's this one right here. This one right here gets me. If a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, he is a predator. This is some eugenics, like socialist fucking speech right here. If a man wants to possess a child, first off, anyone who says if a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than it being a product of his own lineage, this person does not have children, clearly. Because you don't get the idea of having kids. Like, I get that you take history classes, right? I get that you take sociology classes, all that. And you get these ideas in your head of like feudalism and this whole idea of like, inheritance and procreating being this sort of idea of past genes and et cetera, et cetera. And this idea that, there's something animal kingdom about that as well. But as sentient beings, our concept of having children is a bit deeper than that. Especially after you have kids, you realize it's a bit deeper than that. It's more than just your own lineage, right? Creating a product of your own lineage. You're creating a person. It's going to have its own opinions, own thoughts, own beliefs, own desires. That's fucking magic, bro. Like, that's some Stardust bullshit, okay? I'm going to tell you something. This is going to sound really gay, right? Really soft and gay. But like, I remember when my daughter was born and they had her wrapped up in a little bundle and they had me hold her while they took care of my wife. And I remember my daughter kind of rooting around in her new blanket, fresh out of the womb. She was peeking her one eye over the bottom of the blanket, looking at me. And it was like, and I looked into her eye and it was like I could see the fucking galaxy in her fucking eyes. It's something fucking magical. It's something you can't explain. You can only feel. I talk about, like, I've said this to my wife before, right? My wife doesn't like classical music. She appreciates classical music. She doesn't like classical music. And I think it's because, and I've said this before to her, classical music was an art form, an expression that was, it didn't have any lyrics for the most part besides like operas, things like that later on. But symphonic music especially was an expression of emotion. It was telling a story through emotion, and that emotion was conveyed using music. And so classical symphonic music is music that's meant only to really be felt, not understood. Modern music is more appealing to a mass audience, right? Especially the younger generation, because it has lyrics, right? As beat you can dance to, it has melody that's pleasing, and it has lyrics that typically tell a story or convey some kind of opinion, etc. And that music's more popular because that appeals to a lot of people now who want to understand music. There's two types of music. Music that's meant to be felt and music that's meant to be understood. Really good music, some of the greatest music, does both. But I would say that music that's meant to be felt, at least in my opinion, is better. My wife doesn't understand that. My wife doesn't like music that's only meant to be felt. And that's because she's a more analytical person. You know, she works in STEM. She's more analytical. But it's kind of the same way with having kids, in that having kids, like the feeling of holding your kid for the first time, the feeling of having kids is something that can only be, it can't really be described. It's something that can only be felt, right? It's life altering. Not just in the physical way, like, oh, I have a new life I'm going to have to be responsible for. I have, so many things that I'm going to have to take care of now, et cetera, et cetera. But also, like, it's life altering in that it will make you feel different. So, yeah. This whole statement here is bullshit. If a man wants to possess a child for any reason other than being a product of his own lineage, he's likely a predator. First off, no. Again, in the actual reality realms, stepfathers exist. Most of them want to willingly join families, right? So they obviously want to be a part of that kid's life. Secondly, there are these in media. Let's see if we can name a few. Let's see, the Last of Us series, God of War series. There was the Bible. The Bible has a lot of stories about, fathers who weren't necessarily fathers to children. Man on Fire. That's another one that is pretty much, Denzel Washington is a father to Dakota Fanning, without really being a father to her, was definitely her guardian. So, there's a lot of examples here. But yeah, and a lot of those examples are listed out here. Yeah, here's this one. Picture: childless man devoid of paternal affection. It's Jesus. Yeah, right. So, yeah. Monsters Inc. Yeah, I get Ricky Berwick. I guess you aren't a fan of this movie then. Yeah, Sound of Freedom. Literally, Jim Caviezel's character abandons his job at chasing, child, horrific movie and content distributors to literally pursue child traffickers. Like, that's pretty, yeah. So yeah, getting absolutely cooked. I mean, let's take a look. Let's finish this here and then we'll take a look. But, and she says here, and you be taking the feminist, radical, gender abolitionist position to protest any of the above points. No. Just no. These are actually feminist positions here. You're pushing the feminist position that men are inherently aggressive and detached from the idea that men are inherently aggressive, selfish, and detached from the idea of family and raising children. with zero evidence given, by the way. At least some of these leftists out there, when they make dumb fucking opinions like this, they at least like try to insert quotes or tag shitty articles from some shitty source to try to justify their opinions. This is just pure retardation being put out in the open with no evidence. Like, but yeah, taking the feminist route, you are doing that. You are the one doing that. This should explain why a dad simulator game marketed to mostly childless men gives people the creeps. First off, I don't know what she means by childless men. She's just talking about gamers in general. What the fuck is she doing hosting a pop culture podcast? Because guess what? Video games are a large part. I would argue they're probably the largest part of pop culture now, with a decline in the popularity of movies, especially in theaters, and just general watching of television. I'd say actually books, especially among women, are on the rise and have been for like the past 2 decades. And video games have always been a staple of men, an increasing staple of men. So if she means that gamers just in general are childless men, then like don't be a part of a pop culture podcast, because that's who you're going to be talking about. You're talking to. By the way, gamers, while most of them are men, are also sometimes married with children. Kind of like me. This should explain why a dad simulator game is marketed. Okay. How is it marketed to childless men if we're not talking about just general gamers? We're talking about a specific audience. I don't know how this game was marketed to childless men. Can you explain that to me? Because I don't remember the marketing that way. In fact, Pragmata hasn't had a very vicious marketing campaign in general. So I don't really know what you're talking about there. But anyway, this post got community noted. Men experience, quote, baby fever and paternal instincts before fatherhood with hormonal changes. Oxytocin releases, supporting nurturing and protective behaviors toward non-biological children, as seen in alloparenting and adoption. Wow, all the shit that I was just saying. And look here, it has actual listed sources for the information. Now, something she didn't do. Just made assertions. This response here, she's getting bodied in the fucking comments. And there's 2 types of people on the internet. There's one type that gets absolutely fucking bodied in the replies and have the sense to be like, I should just not fucking reply. I should just not do anything. I should just disappear, keep my head down. Those accounts really fucking annoy me because I want them to respond, because I want them to be made fun of and shamed more. Because they deserve it for their stupid opinions. Then there are people like Mary Morgan who can't help themselves, who say things in response like this. To those denying biology here, wild way to fucking start that. Would you hire a male babysitter? Depends on the babysitter. You meet your kid's kindergarten teacher and it's a dude. How do you feel about that? Interestingly enough, one real life scenario, one of the 4th grade teachers, not that far removed from kindergarten, right? In my elementary school was a man in his like 40s. And he was super cool. And guess what? All the boys wanted to be in his class specifically because we wanted to hang out with the one male figure that was a teacher in the fucking school. Other than our school counselor, who was also a man. And guess what? My parents got divorced while I was in that school, And he was my counselor, and he helped me get over a lot of shit. He's a really good dude. So, real life scenario, that's a bunch of bullshit. Also, in media, since we're talking about a thing in media, Pragmata, it's a video game. Kindergarten Cop. It's another example.
Damn!
And going back to the babysitter part, like, again, I said it depends on who. If it's my brother-in-law, who's been around my daughter since she was born, and knows her and loves her and is the best fucking uncle you could ask for, and he's 16, like 16, 17, yeah, I'd have him be my fucking babysitter. He's a good dude. I trust him. What do women have that men don't? Are we beginning to understand each other now? Men aren't women. None of this is a knock against men. It's just true. I don't know. This men aren't women. I don't know if that's supposed to tie back into the transmission people like argument. Like we're trying to equate like this to that. It's bullshit. It's just trying to cover your ass. Like, and again, she opens with the line, to those denying biology here. To those denying biology here, like, you're the one denying biology. Like, you're the one denying. There's a community note. There's a community note on your fucking posts with links, right? With links to, yeah, this one. There's another community note here. Research shows childless men experience broodiness and the desire for fatherhood nearly as often as childless women, 59% versus 63%, and men, including non-parents, exhibit innate caregiving and protective responses to infants. That's a different community note that's been put on there. But there's literally community notes on your posts with actual research evidence telling you this is bullshit. And you're the one being like, to those denying biology here. Bitch, you're denying biology. What are you talking about? To those denying biology here, you haven't described how this is biology. You've made a lot of assertions based upon your personal beliefs. That's probably based upon sociology classes that you took, or something you picked up from a podcast here and there, or something you read in some book somewhere by people who are not experts or have any kind of clue of biology, which is an actual science, right? And this would be long established science. This isn't, the jab that's new shit, right? And you're being like, oh, we're denying biology. Get the fuck out of here, dude. Savvy. I know I'd never leave a child with you. You are much too unstable, especially a boy. Damn. Yeah. And that's childless. That's childless woman on childless woman crime there. Because Savvy also doesn't have kids. And is basically an adult 16-year-old girl. She was making like, she showed a picture just earlier that was like a bowl of rice and like a single like seaweed like wrapper, and was like, this is my dinner. It's like, grow the fuck up, make yourself a real dinner. Anyway, But yeah, I said to those denying biology proceeds to use an anecdotal straw man arguments with zero biological evidence. Because that's what she did. Facts don't care about your feelings. Fucking Pearl Davis. I would trust a male babysitter over a female one. Hold on. Mary Morgan got ratioed by Pearl Davis.
Exposed.
Statistically speaking, I would rather have a male babysitter. Oh, man. Man, this is one of those posts where the facts are not. The facts are.
Damn!
The facts are not treating you.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
The facts are not treating you well here. But yeah, let's look at the comments. The men in your life failed you, from Adam Krigler. Damn. Recent father himself, by the way. Chatham is a good guy. The only thing I've seen this guy go batshit retarded about is Marathon. I don't know. He just really loves Marathon. He'll be the last motherfucker playing Marathon when it shuts down. I don't get it, but whatever. He was making a bunch of rage bait posts, blocking motherfuckers left and right. So, yeah. Legal mindset. Hey, at Timcast, you really support this level of clearly debunked misandry. This is something I'd expect from the insanely woke left. Glad the community notes quickly corrected this. I mean, here's the thing. It's funny to see Legal Mindset comment on this, but the truth is that Tim doesn't really care, right? Well, and he quote tweeted this post. We're going to get into it in a minute, but yeah. Phil's meme game has really came up. By the way, Asha, I see here, is trending now. We're going to talk about that later. Asha Sharma might be the guy. She might be the guy at Xbox. Seeing Savvy again. You're very hateful, empty, you know what. We all know it isn't your hormones, though, and you really are crazy, truly. I hope you get medication you need. Damn. Ah, yes, men have no desire to protect smaller, weaker beings we feel responsible for. We didn't grow up with younger siblings, never had dogs. All of our parental instincts kick in when we see our own child and are completely absent from before that. Damn. Mark always has good day. Mark always gets them, man. You're lonely and you hate men. We get it. Gung Ho Mac. Fact check false. Got anything to add, or are you just going to deny? Again, she's saying this again. Got anything else to add, or are you just going to deny biological reality and dip? You deny, but look at this fucking ratio, dude. 15,000 to 100. Oh my god, dude.
Damn. Boy, that escalated quickly.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Hiya!
15,000 to 137. Oh my god, dude. Oh, wow. You're denying biological reality. This is the dude that like gets a mountain of scientific evidence proving him wrong. And it's just like, nah, I'm right. You're talking bullshit. George has some good opinions. George also has some retarded opinions, especially about media. This is bullshit, Mary. Men have protector DNA, which this game activates in a big way and will lead to millions of men getting married, having kids. This video game or any video game or any movie, I don't know if he's being facetious there, by the way, or any TV show is going to have precisely zero effect on birth rates, and I guarantee that. I mean, probably, yeah. But also, so it's bad. Like, how does that... Okay. This is still a good one. I gotta like this. But yeah. Readers, read it. Reddit lies. If I don't know anything about men except for what other women have told me, was a post. The Sound of Freedom post. Another one saying I'm gonna keep it real with you, Chief. Of all the retarded takes I've seen on this game, this one is by far the most retarded. You really thought this out, typed it, and then hit post. Yeah. But yeah. What's really interesting though is where is it? I'm probably going the wrong way. I have to go up. Let's see here. Tim Pool retweeted this. Said, Mary is correct in tendency. He's trying to give himself a way out here if this goes bad for him, which it will. I think people are taking her point to some extreme end. No, they're not. They're just taking her at face value what she fucking said. Despite the community note, which is a funny way to start out a sentence because it's basically saying, despite the fact that everyone proved that this is bullshit, I would still argue women are substantially more baby crazy than men, and that Mary is generally correct in her assessment. This is coming from a guy who is having kids late in his life, I think. Is like upper 30s, early 40s. And also doesn't give any scientific evidence. Again, no evidence. Like, all just feelings. It's all just feelings, guys. It's all just feelings. And like I said here, my employee had an opinion, and despite the fact that she's getting obliterated in both public opinion and facts, and I too have no scientific evidence, I would say I feel she is right. Why do you type with zero understanding of biology and psychology want to speak with such confidence? But that wasn't her whole point, was it? No, her point was that she gets the creeps from men expressing interest in the game or the game even existing. She inherently assumes the worst of every man, denying them the choice to be interested and explore the feeling of fatherhood or not. Which means that she assumes the worst of you. If you went to her and said you wanted to start a family and have kids, you are a creep. You aren't allowed to express that because you don't have a single nurturing sense in your body. Baby crazy expresses differently, but the same drive still exists there. God forbid you correct a woman, though, right? I would also go so far to say is that women who have this continuous and sort of vicious belief in men are predators, like all men are predators, and constantly get grossed out by the idea of men like wanting to start a family or like loving the idea of having kids or something like that. It's kind of gay. It's kind of points to women who think that way and don't like that is might have some lesbian tendencies, maybe. Because you don't want to start a family. You don't like the idea of men wanting to start a family with you because you don't like men. So, yeah. That's just an opinion. Just an opinion that's not based upon any knowledge or fact. Just an opinion. Kind of like her post. A massive deflection from her to use the word predator, which she clearly used clearly in the criminal sense. Oh, legal mindset needs to proofread. Breaking, Tim Pool says you're a predator if you want kids. Damn, bounding into comments, getting into it now. I know they made a post about this too. She's wrong, but she's also right. Wouldn't expect anything less from you. Yeah, he's doing the whole fence sitting. But yeah. Shutterton Zoomer employee made a stupid post. Yeah. So, by the way, he out-ratioed. Exposed. 950 comments to 466 likes as of now.
You're exposed. You are exposed. Exposed. You.
Hiya.
So yeah, it's not going well. It's not going well for Team Pool over there. So, but let's go up here. So, Vex Electronica recently exposed Chris Pavlovsky, basically being like, hey, you support the quartering and all that on Rumble, free speech platform. And he was basically like, I don't want to get into it. You know, we don't really care about people's opinion. You know, I don't get into the drama is basically what he said. Then he let it slip that Jeremy's never had a Rumble contract, and that's a little bit exposed. But yeah, Vex Electronica really got into it bigly, doing that recently. Now she's on another one. Color me absolutely shocked that a female conservative influencer calling fatherless men predators for liking a video game also willingly plays up the you-know-what aesthetic on her socials. And yeah, you can see right here. Clearly, by the way, most of these pictures are from her Instagram, her public Instagram, because I did some research on this, and they're from like 2021, 2022, so not that long ago. And we're really out here calling dudes predators for wanting to start families, or having a feeling of wanting to start family, right? Having a feeling of having connection to kids that aren't biologically theirs, right? In a nurturing way. We're calling them predators. Meanwhile, we're taking Instagram photos dressed like this. In our schoolgirl skirt. Holding a literal lollipop. I know it's a cake pop, but still. Doing this whole like bubble face bullshit. Hello Kitty. Like, come on, man. Come on. Every time this kind of shit happens, man. Like, it's just stupid. And Pragmata is a game. It's an action adventure, like space game that has an element to it, a story element to it about the bond between a man and an android that is, for all intents and purposes, designed to be a child, and his natural instincts to want to protect a smaller, weaker being, at least perceived that way. I'm sure she has special abilities in the game and all that. His desire to protect a smaller, weaker being, whether she's a little girl or whatever, sells it more as that she's, seemed like a little girl. We're having that interpreted by people like this as being predator-like behavior. What are we doing? Stop it. Get some help. Anyway. So. Let's see here. Alright. Let's talk about Xbox. Damn, we're fucking almost an hour and a half in already. I planned on this one being a short one too, but fuck. Oh, real quick. We're getting rumors out there that Assassin's Creed Black Flag Resynced, or whatever it's going to be called, is dropping a lot earlier than we expected, probably because Ubisoft is desperate for money. This was released. This is supposed to be the old one, and this is the resynced, and holy shit, that looks bad. Like, holy fuck. This is not good. I don't... Now this post is from the Gameverse, which is, I don't know, it's got a pretty massive following. Top DLSS off, bottom DLSS on. Yeah. It definitely feels that way. Now this comes to us from the Gameverse. Gameverse, I want to say I've seen them post a lot of bullshit before. I'm not sure. but they have a pretty big following, so maybe this is true. But I heard like maybe next month or later this month this is supposed to drop, but I thought it was dropping like later this year, like November or some shit. But maybe they moved it up. I don't remember seeing them moving it up, or maybe that just slipped through the cracks. But it would make sense because Ubisoft, like I said, needs money. But oh yeah, let's do this one real quick too. Anne Hathaway pushed for body positivity in The Devil Wears Prada 2. Casting claims all different shapes inside. All different shapes are beautiful. Fuck, messed that one up. I thought the scene would be so much more enjoyable for the audience if we just had a wider range of bodies on display. And that's why actors should not be creatives. Alfred Hitchcock, I've said it before, I'll keep going. Alfred Hitchcock was right when he said actors needed to be treated like cows. Just led around everywhere. Alfred Hitchcock was onto something, even back then in the 60s. But yeah, by the way, this is the same woman who said that she wanted to live a long, happy life and then said, Inshallah. Like, unironically. I know Arabic Muslims that only say Inshallah ironically to be funny. Like, it's one of those like times where you see somebody say something serious that nobody ever says seriously. Like, it reminded me of when fucking what's his name? Sam Smith called himself a fisher them. Like, really? Like, it's so open and obviously forced. But yeah, this is obviously dumb bullshit. Like, we don't need. It's a movie about runway model fashion. We get it. Like, we get what that society is like. Just be it. No, we can talk about this real quick. Blabbering Collector says, intriguing. Plot-wise, we can literally only go up. I'm pressing exit out on Quidditch. Remember, they still have Quidditch Champions video game that they still haven't cut live service to, even if it only has 15 people playing right now on Steam. Yeah, that's true. And they're talking about Hogwarts Legacy 2 here, because the rumor is that Hogwarts Legacy 2 will be announced soon. Next year is their release, or what they think is going to be their release. The Quidditch is like, Hogwarts Legacy 2 is going to have Quidditch in it. And yes, it won't be like Quidditch Champions. It will probably be better than Quidditch Champions. And I think it's going to have Quidditch in it just because, like, we've gotten to the point where the first game didn't put Quidditch in the game because they didn't want to step on Quidditch Champions' toes because they thought that could be like a big selling game, right? When in reality, Quidditch Champions was never going to be a fucking big game because it was all based upon the actual, like, Harry Potter, Hogwarts, like, actual in-school society, right? There is a way you can make a standalone Quidditch game, like, work. And that's if you made essentially a FIFA game, but with Quidditch, and you just randomly generated fucking portrait pictures for different characters alongside real characters and players that are mentioned, like Victor Krum and all that shit. And you made a bunch of fake teams and fake leagues, and you put that out like it was FIFA. And it can be fake characters and fake generated AI fucking portraits and all that. You even save money on that instead of having actual actors. The AI is good enough now where it could do that, and you just and you know you NCAA football game that shit essentially, because they can't use at least they couldn't use players' likenesses in the NCAA football games because of paid player regulations and laws, right? So why not? Why not use those same kind of rules and tools? It's better now because of AI. Make a Quidditch game, release it like a FIFA Quidditch game because it's supposed to be based around soccer, right? I guarantee you Harry Potter fans will pick it up and they'll play it and they'll love it. I'd play it. I'd be like manager fucking manager mode on Quidditch all fucking day, dude. Especially if they make it like old school FIFA. Like 2013, 2014 FIFA. When it was good. Not this modern shit. By the way, this is an aside. I played FIFA, I think 25 not that long ago. Or 26, I can't remember which. I think it was 26. It was dog shit. Like 25 was bad. They somehow made it worse. They continue to make it worse. Like, I know they lost the FIFA branding, but I didn't know that they were losing like the UI and all intelligent concepts of like the functionality of the game along with it. Anyway, that's my FIFA rant. But Hogwarts Legacy 2 expected to come out next year. It's probably going to be really big again. Especially, honestly, if the show is shit, the game actually could be bigger. Because people will want actually good, like, Harry Potter content, and this would probably give it to them. The unfortunate part is that I've heard rumors that the game is supposed to very much be in line with the show because they want it to be like a lead into the show. Because I've heard through rumors and with people talking online, nothing substantiated, that they're abandoning the really old storyline, which I think was actually a smart move by them to go full KOTOR mode and basically like we're not going to touch the Harry Potter like timeline. We're actually going to go way back into the 1800s, do our own thing that doesn't have anything to do with Voldemort or any of that bullshit, or even Grindelwald or anything. This is before all that. Do our own story. I thought that was smart because then you don't have to worry about all that bullshit. You can tell your own stories freely. Not that they did very much in the storytelling of that game. You could have made a whole game about Sebastian's storyline and that's it. But they added all the other bullshit like that didn't need to be there. Stealing stories from basically other games, story elements from other games. But there's rumors that they're going into the main Harry Potter timeline and the game is going to take place sometime between Harry Potter's like father and his time at Hogwarts and like the war between Voldemort and the lead into Harry Potter. Like that's when the game is going to take place. Either one of those two like time periods. And if it has ties to the series, that means you're going to get race swap Snape. That means you're going to get other bullshit that they want to put into it from the HBO series. It would probably be shittily lit in terms of a video game. That's honestly the trailer. That's what stood out to me the most. Like Black Snape was obviously bullshit, but I knew that was coming. But just like the lighting of the show was just terrible. That and Nick Frost's Hagrid. It's terrible. He looks like Hagrid. He does not sound or behave or seem like Hagrid at all. Anyway. We'll skip the Avatar shit. That's not really that important. But let's talk about this. So, the other big story. So, this is from Dexter Toe here. Xbox CEO Asha Sharma announced that Game Pass Ultimate will drop from $29.99 to $22.99 per month. New Call of Duty games will no longer be released day one on Xbox Game Pass. So, essentially, they think to make up the revenue for dropping the price is getting people to want to buy Call of Duty. Unfortunately, that means that Call of Duty is actually going to be a draw for players to buy. While Call of Duty is popular, this is going to be a test actually to see exactly how popular Call of Duty actually is. Because there are a lot of people who play Call of Duty through Game Pass, like me, play the new ones, and did not buy the game. I don't foresee this making up the revenue that they're going to lose by going from $29.99 to $22.99, which, by the way, is still higher than from their last price hike. So they hiked prices up from their last price, then dropped them a little bit, and now they're saying, "Hey, we did you a favor." Everything I do it for you. Yeah. But this way she gets to look like a good guy. She gets to be like, "Hey, I'm cool, guys. I lowered the price of Game Pass." But I don't think new Call of Duty is really going to... Call of Duty is kind of dropped in status, let's be honest here, as like the game, right, that drives people in. And I think that's part of the whole, like, a lot of these online service games, and I would qualify Call of Duty now as an online service game for the most part, whether that's through zombies or multiplayer. They aren't driving the same audience as they used to. People don't want to come in the way they used to for Call of Duty, for live service games. Let's just out and out say it. People are kind of bored of live service. People are saying, "I'm kind of bored of getting online and just playing PvP against other players." People are saying, "I kind of want to go through an entertaining experience and get an actual story, an actual cinematic experience from a game." Hence the rise of single-player games recently, especially story-based single-player games. There's a reason why Expedition 33, which is very story-heavy, was so popular. There's a reason why Dispatch was so popular. There's a reason why so many of these games that are story-based action-adventure games or RPGs are so popular. Especially if they're narrow in focus and scope and not these massive open worlds, right? Unless you're Pearl Abyss making Crimson Desert, which is not really an RPG, by the way. It's an RPG in the sense that there's so much to fucking do. You're basically role-playing as explorer, fighter, magic-wielding hero, like all of it, like industrialist, landlord. That's me to a T. I'd rather play my old story games than deal with today's shit. Yeah. People are... Listen. This is a generalization here. I don't have any facts and figures. I don't have any numbers. This is just my feelings, right? So I could be completely wrong on this. But I feel like there is a growing number. The number of people is growing that want to take a break at least from live service. What was it? Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders recently had a massive fall off in numbers, right? Why? What's the point of Arc Raiders? Think about Arc Raiders as a concept of game. It's a post-apocalyptic game. Not really sure on the apocalypse, by the way. Where you go out and you scavenge and you fight against these robots and you fight against other survivors and people occasionally. But even then, it's fostered a community that's more friendly to each other than competitive. And you go out and you get components, then you bring it back and you upgrade your shit, and you continue to do that till you have good shit, and then eventually a new season starts and they wipe all your shit. And you do it all over again. And it has an aesthetic that is, while unique, I would say, is not exactly flashy or inspired. And I just don't get. There's no real story to it. There's nothing engaging. There's nothing that makes you feel anything. And you kind of get that from the sense that they went with AI voiced characters, right? They didn't give a shit enough about you caring about any characters in this game, about you caring about any story in this game, that they didn't even get actors to do the voice acting. They said, fuck it, the machine generated voices are good enough. There is a growing number of people, I feel, that don't want to do that anymore. That don't want to bang their head against the wall. That is some cracked out Korean kid in Fortnite, okay? That don't want to just grind constantly in Marvel Rivals, no matter how goonerish it gets. There is a growing number of people that want a cinematic story experience. And they're turning to even AA games, especially because the price of games have gotten outrageous now, that AA games are now actually considered the more bang for your buck, right? Especially with how easy it has become to make video games, no matter what fucking Randy Pitchford says, who's like, making video games it's just so hard, guys. It's so hard. Is it? Because 30 fucking Frenchies did it in their basement, okay? Warhorse Studios, before they were big guys, it was 10 dudes in their fucking basement. And half of them were historical experts. Dragon's Twin is being made. It looks amazing. It's a side project by one dude going to college right now in his master's program. Knight's Path is being made by a dude and I think a handful of contractors. Manor Lords was made by one dude and a handful of contractors. So yeah, people would rather go to that's being made cheaply by small teams and gives a more story-based experience than go to the online slop. That's what it is. It's online slop. And it's not going to drive people in the way that they think it is to make up the difference for lowering the price. And what you're going to see is, especially when the Project Helix comes out, and I don't think I think the Project Helix will sell well. I don't think it will sell what they need to justify the price. If that AI bubble does not pop tomorrow, this is going to be up to like $32 within a year or two. Within about a year. When the average person works 8 hours a day and they have very little time to play, I'm sure they want to play against people that play games 24/7. Yeah. This was sarcasm, by the way. Don't know if it can. No, I understand. There is definitely the idea of that, like, you go to work, you play, then you come home, you boot up Fortnite. You're like, yeah, I'm just going to get some matches in Fortnite. And then you're getting fucking, eliminated 97th. And, like, 2 people dropped out of the match before, like, it even started. So, like, yeah, there is definitely that feeling. And you don't want to do that. Like, the truth is that for those kinds of people, you know what those kinds of people used to play before online, like, games like this? Used to play fucking strategy games. Strategy games used to be the shit. Simulator strategy games used to be a lot bigger, I feel, than they are today. Even though there is a niche audience that are essentially, I'm going to be real honest, pay pigs that will spend money on whatever shitty DLC they put out for Hearts of Iron or Crusader Kings 3. By the way, I like that Crusader Kings 3 for the longest time had a like Asian worlds mod where they created like all of like China and the East and everything. And the Crusader Kings devs were basically like, hey, what if we like made our own DLC that you had to pay that was the official Asia mod? Created the official Asia map and basically killed that mod. Why are you attacking me? Yeah, man. But you know that like, then like we used to play a strategy game, and like I still play strategy games. That's just because that's what I'm into. And I still buy. I'm one of those people too. I buy the DLCs when I have the money to. That's the thing. Like, if you play simulator games, like if you play The Sims, right? If you play The Sims 4, and by the way, I like how the devs for The Sims, they were going to make Sims 5, and they realized that they had released so many DLCs, and so many people had so much time and money invested in The Sims, that they were actually pissed off at the idea of making a Sims 5, that they were like, okay, guys, we get it. Maybe we don't make The Sims 5 and we just make you a fuck ton more content for The Sims 4 and occasionally update it. Which people actually laid into and made fun of and were saying like was an L. But it was actually the company being like, hey, you guys, we recognize you spent a lot of money and time here. We would rather just update the game and keep it as is and give you more content since you like it than making you have to buy a whole new game and start the process all over again. And I'm down for that. And I think, in the future, if you want a graphics update or something, they'll be able to update the graphics. They'll just do a Fortnite overhaul. Plus, The Sims pretty much has a stranglehold in that genre because Inzoi is their other major competition. And I would describe Inzoi as... what was it? Hold on. I have to open my Steam. Let's see here. Let's see. Close that for a second. This is my autism kicking in, where I'm like, I can't move on until I know the name. I'm playing Europa Universalis 4 right now. Yeah, I know Europa, like, they have the thing where, like, you can connect Crusader Kings into Europa, and you can literally, like, play from one game into the other. But I'm gonna be honest, that was never, like, I saw Europa and I was like, that's a kind of wildly different experience than Crusader Kings. And I just kind of want to play Crusader King. So what I do is I just turn, like, game end year, like, off of Crusader Kings, and I just keep going. I don't think I've ever actually hit, like, the canonic end of Crusader Kings, though. So it doesn't really matter. What was it? What is it? Oh gosh, what was the name of the game? My game list has become extensive. Humankind, that's what it is. Inzoi is to say Sims 4, like Humankind is to Civilizations, right? It's not the same. It's not the same. I think Rockstar had the same issue with GTA Online when doing GTA 6, but they figured they can charge the players again for GTA Online. Yeah, and it's also the difference, right? Is that The Sims is a sandbox game that's more. It has a bigger base on PC and kind of a completely different audience. Where Rockstar knows that they are one of the tentpole games in like they know GTA is one of the tentpole games in like gaming. When we're talking about a company that knows that they're going to charge $100 for the game, and they're confident that you're gonna fucking pay it, and you will pay it. People are gonna pay $100 for GTA 6. We're talking about that company, and they're confident we can get you to pay for GTA Online again. Okay, so yeah, it's going back to this, but yeah, this is kind of a like shell game, smoke and mirrors show, all that, but it's nice in the immediate that they're trying to do, or at least perceived to be trying to do, something that is consumer positive. And this is definitely a way Asha Sharma is trying to ingratiate herself to the gaming sphere. And I gotta hand it to her. She has so far not played identity politics, not tried to bitch and moan about being treated differently because she's a woman. She's played along when dudes have pushed her on things. She's let her gamer tag be seen, even if it was questionable whether it was actually her gamer tag. And she seems genuinely like trying to understand the community, be a part of the gaming community, and provide a good product with Xbox. And I think ultimately this is not going to change Xbox's direction. We're still going to get Project Helix, and we're still moving towards gaming PCs being the future of pretty much everything. But she posed this here. Game Pass Ultimate has become too expensive for too many players. Starting today, we're dropping price from $29.99 to $22.99 a month. Future Call of Duty titles will no longer join the Game Pass Ultimate on day one. They will join this tier the following holiday after launch, about a year later. So the game, like future Call of Duty titles, will actually be playable on Game Pass Ultimate for the price of Game Pass Ultimate, right? But only You have to wait a year to be able to access it. Current Call of Duty titles will remain available to Ultimate subscribers. We'll keep learning and evolving Game Pass to better match what matters to players. Okay, so that's not bad. It's kind of a shell game, but it's not bad. It's at least a desire to try to do good, or at least perceive to be doing good to your customers. Let's see here. Yeah. Let's go here. All right, two more things real quickly. So Apple's CEO is stepping down. Tim Cook steps down and will be replaced by a guy named John Turnus. What do we know about John Turnus? We know absolutely nothing. This is him. John Turnus, an American engineer and business executive who has served as the senior vice president of hardware engineering at Apple Inc. since 2021. He originally joined in 2001. Basically, he's been an Apple guy his whole working in the industry career. So he's an inside man, been there forever. And this guy is going to oversee Apple during the time that they're having to deal with AI. So I don't know how that's going to go for him. It kind of feels like Tim Cook is bailing, so he doesn't have to deal with this bullshit. John Turnus was the engineer for Apple, so basically all the products that were made in the last 2 decades. Okay, so it's the first time since like Wozniak, it sounds like, that they're going to have an actual guy who knows what the fuck he's talking about in terms of the technology and how it works as CEO, instead of dream guys and like idea guys and sales guys. So the best part I think about his Wikipedia page, though, is it says born 1974 or 1975, age 51. Which is it? I feel like this would be very easy public information to get. What does this say? Klineman. AI, Trump, and product launches. BBC News. The BBC News can't even get that he was born in 74 or 75. That's weird. But yeah. It'll be interesting to see how he does. He was born twice. I mean, maybe. Like he got pushed out and then sucked back in. That'd be kind of wild. I don't think that's how that works. I've never seen it done. I've heard tell of it done. I have a kid, but she was a C-section, so. All right. Yeah. All right. Last one before we get into the doom scroll. So, there's a Gundam movie coming out. I'm going to be real honest with you. I am a complete normie when it comes to Gundam. I don't know shit. I don't know fucking shit about Gundam. I hear it's really good. One day, I might watch the anime. Got a lot of animes on the docket before then. Live action, Psy. I mean, yeah, but it's a movie at least. So they can put a movie budget and a movie care into it. It's not a series where you're going to have dog shit animation and like dog shit live action fighting. And it's going to be, almost 90% people walking around in plain clothes talking about their feelings. Because that's typically what you get from TV series made out of this. Especially from Netflix. And one of them will be gay. At least one of them. But it says here, Gundam, the iconic franchise that launched a global phenomenon, is now in production. The live-action film starring Sydney Sweeney and Noah Centineo follows rival mech pilots at war across Earth and its space colonies. Again, I don't know fucking anything about Gundam. Seems cool. It always felt a little too, cheesy smelling bedroom for me. It's one of those things like Warhammer where I was like, this seems like a lot, so I'm just gonna not. And the fan base seems to really care a lot, so I'm just gonna not. And I never really got into it, okay? This seems like one of those things, like when I was a kid, I was like, this seems like Power Rangers, but Asian. So I'm going to stay away. So, I don't know. It is starring Sydney Sweeney and Noah Centineo, and this is the cast here they got. Sydney Sweeney, Noah Centineo, Jason Isaacs, great actor. Jackson White. I don't know who any of the rest of these people are. This is the dude from, I think, he's been in several things, but he was like the bank lord or whatever in fucking. He was the one like slaver lord guy in Game of Thrones, like in the early seasons. But I don't know who any of these other people are. I probably recognize them from certain characters they've played, but I mean, Sydney Sweeney is Sydney Sweeney, and Noah Centineo is a good actor. My wife forced me to watch To All the Boys I Fucking Loved in the sequels and bullshit like that. He was good in it. He's playing dramatic comedic role for like a teenager. And he's basically just playing a handsome heartthrob. So, and then he was in what was it? Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it. Hold on. The autism is kicking back in again. Oh shit. I clicked over here. Typing. The Recruit, yes. And The Recruit is a good series. If you don't know anything about The Recruit is basically like he's a lawyer for the CIA, but like because like his dad worked for the CIA, but he was an actual like field agent for the CIA, spy essentially, and he didn't want to do that. He wanted to be a lawyer and all that, and so he's a lawyer, but he ends up accidentally doing field work all the fucking time. So, and it's got a decent amount of good comedy in it, but it's also kind of a dark spy thriller. It's a good show. I was kind of disappointed in the second season because they end the first season on like a cliffhanger, and then they quickly resolve that cliffhanger, and they make it like a weird turnaround where like basically it just ends at the start of the second season, and then we're on to the next adventure. So it's a little weird. But yeah, it was a good series. He's also going to be playing Ken Masters in the Street Fighter movie, which looks dope. Absolutely want to see that. And yeah, he's a good actor. He's a good young actor. I think he'll do well in his role here. Gundam anime is a lot, but good. Like so many old IPs, they have different versions, different timelines. Yeah, it's one of the like I think they call them like the big three, right? Like Pokemon, Gundam, and oh fuck, why did it just go out of my head? Dragon Ball, and I don't know if it's actually Pokemon, but at least Gundam and Dragon Ball are on there of like the tentpole animes that have gone on for like a really long time, spanning decades, and have a bunch of lore and different timelines and all that shit, different iterations. They've basically gone through like the comic book morphing, where they have different like generations of different storylines. Like, the comic books have different sort of versions of the character and generations. That's kind of what it's felt like. Again, I've never gotten into it. One day I'll probably watch the anime, see what it's about. All I know is that the fans that like it love it vehemently to like an unsettling level. But I'm sure there's a reason for that, right? Anyway, so that was pretty much all I wanted to talk about, like Article Rise. Oh, what? Lethal Lightning. I met someone. He. We talk. He. They hear me. He a lot. He. They leave. He. I met someone. All right. Lethal's got to lay off the Nest Cafe. I think he's on the Nest Cafe. I think he's on the Nest Cafe again, boys. Low Platoon. Rocky has at least 5 more facial expressions than Zendaya. True. He deserves consideration. Yeah, I hear that the actor is getting. Gundam is so popular they have an entire industry for their model. Yeah, I know it's pop. They have the giant fucking mech model in Japan and all that. Like they're the one that do like the salute, right? The weird, like totally not like Yahtzee salute. How I imagine Mel will learn about this from old Extra Zero. A second homosexual has just hit the empty carton. Yeah, I know that this is another. Vex is exposing people yet again. Updated collage to include some interesting Instagram posts. Melanie Mack is sure knows how to pick them. Yeah, Melanie Mack's like cosplaying like husband or whatever. Definitely, if he's religious enough to be with Melanie Mack, he's that suspicious kind of like religious, He's the very flamboyant pastor who has a wife and all that, Message retracted. What did you retract, Jack of all casuals? Say it, pussy. Say it to my face. It was probably just a spelling error. I don't know about that. I've never done that. I'm also talking about the toy models. Gunpla. Yeah. I know. The toy model. Like, there's a big. I know Gundam is huge in terms of, like, the toys and all that. Everybody. There's so many fucking streamers that have fucking Gundam models in their background. I'm like. I'm sure it's cool. I've just never gotten into it. Because it seems a lot. Who is the fucking Mary Morgan, and does she have any children of her own? Men don't have baby fever. She's not a man. How the fuck does she know if a man has baby fever or not? I have a daughter who will turn 18 next year, and she's my only child. My daughter is about to leave the nest. I'm not reading all that. Basically, I'm getting that his post is fuck Mary Morgan because she doesn't know what she's talking about. Fandom Pulse, they did an article on Mary Morgan. Yeah. Maximilian dude forced to end stream after accidentally hitting the meme. What is this?
Out of like, a 6-year-old, 6, 7. Oh man, fuck it. Jesus Christ.
He did the fake end of the stream. He did the fake end of the stream. That's classic gag. I'll end the stream right now. At the first At first, I found it quite odd that Capcom has added only two difficulty modes in Pragmata, casual and standard. The absence of a hard difficulty mode threw me off a bit, but watching Phil play, he calls him Philip, that's weird. Watching Phil play this game made me realize why Capcom decided to add the easy mode to it. Yeah. That's the thing, like, these companies, including Capcom, they consider Phil for their games when they make them. And it's so stupid. It's like, it's not, like, this goes back, I'm going to full screen for a second. This goes back to the whole premise of that, like, we got to stop making products for stupid people, okay? We get it. Like, there was a great joke by a comedian. Chris Porter was his name. And he said, we used to make products only for smart people. We used to make products for normal people, smart people. But dumb people have gotten so large. There's so many of them. And now they're their own marketing demographic. And now we have to consider them when making a product. And yeah, we have to consider dumb people. People who don't know fucking anything or how to do anything. People that you're like, holy shit, how do you like live? How do you pay taxes? How do you do anything? Like, we have to consider those people making video games. And he was right also when he said that, like, we used to make products for normal people and the dumb people would just have to adjust. We need to go back to that. We need to make products for normal people, smart people, and then just they have to adjust. Dumb people have to adjust. Easy mode for journalists and DSP. Yes, the journalist mode, as we all know. Listen, I'll be real with you. I play some games on easy mode. I'll be honest. Actually, I'll say that most games I play on easy mode because I want to see like how like retarded like eating my book easy is the game on easy mode. And if it's too easy, I turn that shit up. Because I like a little challenge to my game. And if it's too easy, just turn that shit up. If you start at the super hard mode and you get your ship pushed in, you don't know, like, is this just a really hard section? Am I really bad? Like, am I not getting it? Like, and then you don't want to turn it down because you feel like you're pussing out. I start at the opposite end. Started super easy. It's too easy. Just turn it up. It's okay to want a harder game. Know your limits, not only of difficulty, but also easiness. Easality? I don't, the easy, you get what I fucking mean, okay? I know words. I know the best words. Think of average dumb person and then dumb them down even further. Those are the real demographics that we have to deal with. That's why I like From Software, no dumbing down from everyone. Yeah, but I'm not a big From Software guy just because it's a lot. I don't know. I just don't like how the games feel. Like it's a story and they're story based. I'll give them that, but they feel almost disconnected and disjointed. Like there's a wall there that keeps you really from feeling a whole lot of emotion. And I experienced it with the little bit I've played with like Elden Ring. And I played like, I think the original Dark Souls. and I died like that, and then I played like a little bit longer, and I kept just hitting. It felt like I was hitting my head against the wall, and I was just like, you know what, this isn't for me. Like, that kind of style of game is just not for me. And I have no problem admitting that. Like, some things are not for you. Some things you're not good at. And so and some people will be like, well, you need to get good. It's like, yeah, but I'd rather play something else and be entertained. And if you're entertained by doing this, and you want to pursue that, that's great for you. Go do it. There's clearly enough of you. The game sold like fucking hotcakes. Enjoy it. I'm happy for you. But yeah. Oh. That was like 2 posts into the doom scroll. Like, I was reacting to a lonely, miserable, and clearly extremely depressed communist complain about how the new Pragmata game is becoming a catalyst for more babies to be born. And then this happened. His daughter's... I'm so tired. Like, first off, this is the most Smash JT like post possible. Like, I don't know. He has the tabs up to. I don't know. It's probably just me, but like it makes my balls itch when I see streamers and stuff like that who have their tabs just open like that where you can see them. That's why I always full screen. And yes, it means I have to like unscreen, click over to a different tab or all that. But mostly I'm just scrolling Twitter, so it's not that big of a problem. I have everything saved and pinned to Twitter. And if I have to open an article, typically I can just open the article or I change the screen, right? It's not a big deal. But it makes... I don't like seeing it. I don't like all the tabs up there. That's one thing. And also the inflammatory post by him, all that. But also, like, this motherfucker shares too much of his family online. I'm sorry. Like, I love that he loves his family, right? And he wants to, like, be pro-family and all that. It's great, whatever. But, like, posting, like, pictures of your kids and your faces, kids, and the kids' faces and all that on the social media, especially Twitter of all social medias. I get Facebook, right? Nobody's on Facebook except to see your fucking family, right? It's basically, Facebook is basically family photo album, the like website or app. That's basically what it is anymore. You're seeing family photos and vacation photos of like your coworkers, your family and extended family, and like some dude that like you met at a nightclub like briefly for like a hour or two like 10 years ago. And that's it. The regulars at a restaurant you used to work at, seeing their family photos and shit. That's all it is anymore on Facebook. That and retards getting into political arguments that I don't know why they're doing that. Like, anyway. But I get posting pictures of your family there for those people to see and like them. I get even posting pictures of your family on Instagram because some people do that, right? Big and small accounts. But Twitter? Like, it's weird. Because there's a lot of degenerates on Twitter. There's a lot of weird people on Twitter. There's a lot of people, especially someone like Smash JT, that do not like him. He's putting his family on Twitter. That's the thing. Smash strikes me as the kind of guy who doesn't think about the consequences of doing something before doing it. And he's a very impulsive person. And I think that he possesses in his mind the ability to understand and analyze and be like, consider all the damages and all the idea that he should research something before just running with it. But I think he just ignores all of it and just barrels into things. So yeah. Sports Center. It's basketball. Nobody cares. Nobody cares about. I'm sorry. Brief sports opinion. I know sports isn't typically what I do here. The NBA is in the absolute shitter when it comes to ratings. Like, if you want to talk about, anybody who has the narrative of like, people are racist because they only care about certain things if it's the white guy that's the center of attention. If it's the white guy that's the main character. The NBA is predominantly the top guys at the NBA right now, I'd say, are either mixed or white. And the league, in terms of popularity, is at an all-time low. I don't know, and honestly, I gotta say, I know what it is. I know why basketball is such in the shitter right now. It's because they've become a league where there is no real competition. There feels like there is no real competition. Everybody's friends with each other. Everybody's buddies with each other. The white guys that I just mentioned, right? They're called they call themselves it was like the Belgrade boys or something like that. And they're all from like Eastern Europe, like Serbia, Croatia, all those places. And they all go out and hang with each other during the off season. Like, nobody has rivalries anymore. Nobody stays on one team and works it out for them. And that's kind of why I appreciate Steph Curry. I don't even know if Steph Curry's on the Golden State Warriors anymore. But I appreciated Steph Curry because Steph Curry stayed with his team even when they became shit because he was loyal to the Golden State Warriors. And people had loyalty to an actual team. You know, like, nobody has loyalty anymore. Like, it's so dumb. If they had more rivalries create drama. Drama sells tickets because people want the story. Sports is cool. Sports is fun. But the stories sell the game. In summary, he protect, she hack, he attack, but mostly she snack. Okay. She eating a battery? Cavicular is look maxing Gorlock. This is quite clearly AI. But it's a good attempt. Is he gonna make her skinny? I'm invested now. Not invested enough to turn the audio on. He's got the hammer. Oh shit. Hey yo, what? Wait. Hold up. What up? Why does she look like Chrissy Teigen? Why does she look like Chrissy Teigen?
Yeah.
She, he, whatever he's supposed to be.
Wait, is that the same girl as yesterday? Hold on.
Yesterday? Ridiculous. Yeah. quartering, going shopping afterwards. What do you say? Larry Bird versus Magic Johnson, Bulls versus Pistons, Lakers versus San Antonio, Lakers versus Boston. We don't have that anymore. No, you don't. Rivalries are all gone. They don't care anymore. Like, it's a job. A lot of them see it as a job. Clocking in, clocking out. Because the AI, that's what. She looked like Chrissy Teigen that didn't have botched work. You have zero idea of what parenthood looks like. And you have zero idea what a child looks like outside of a bag labeled medical. God fucking damn. Watching a fictional kid play with toys for a few seconds and thinking that's what it's like raising an actual human being is probably a sign you have zero idea of what it really looks like being a parent and should not base your decision off a video game character. I mean, I guess she's right because, like I said, there are parts of being a parent that it's not like this all the time, and it can be pretty grainy. And my toddler will have today. She had a 20-minute meltdown because she didn't have any clean dresses to wear. She didn't want to wear shorts and a t-shirt to daycare, which she also didn't want to go to. And she had a full-on meltdown because we didn't have any dresses that she could wear. But, you just deal with it. You find ways to deal with it, whether that's punishment or whether that's, diverting her attention to something else. But you find a way to deal with it, and you just deal with it. It's still all worth it, man. I'm telling you, it's still all worth it. If you can't find this, you're retarded. Oh, hey. It's a fake vagina. I think that's the first fake, adult content ad. We'll rack that up as education, right? It's technically not still nudity because it wasn't real. Or was it a mouth? I'm not going back to find out, though. Hey, I made a video about this like a year ago. It's called Hag Maxing. And there's more to it than you think. What is this? This is actually true. Lately, many of my girlfriends, mid to late 30s, have been telling the stream is down in 3, 2, 1. I mean, if it is, I get it. I mean, it's a male-centered pleasure device. We're educating here, okay? This is actually still no actual nudity of any person on this on through my timeline. I haven't even bought any. Listen, I haven't even bought any pocket pussies lately. Okay? This is actually true. Lately, many of my friends, mid to late 30s, have been telling me that they are getting approached by early 20s men. Very confident, I would add. What's going on? Older women are in demand by younger men. Yes, because they know you have, if you're an older woman, have no children, that probably means that you are A, down to fuck, and it also means you have a very low chance of getting pregnant, and it also means you don't want to get pregnant. So it's literally less risk for them, more reward. They're not going to settle down with you, though. In the same way as an older man, I would never date a girl in her younger 20s. What the fuck do I have to talk to her about? Right? Hey, listen. My purchasing choices are not on trial here. Fortnite Save the World is a co-op PvE mode within Fortnite that's now free to play, and it's very different from Battle Royale. Children, I don't know if you know this, but once upon a time, when Fortnite released, when I was like in, I don't know, I want to say junior high school, maybe early high school, Fortnite was called Fortnite because it was a play on words, because you would hunt for resources. The game was a fort building defense. It was a defense fort game. So you would go out during the day, collect resources, and then at night the fucking zombies would attack, and they would attack your defenses, and you would use your defenses and the weapons you found and all that to defend against the zombies. And you did this online co-op with your friends. And it was... Fortnite is literally selling you what Fortnite originally was as a new game mode.
What the fuck? Dishonor. Dishonor on your whole family. Make a note of this. Dishonor on you. Dishonor on your cow.
They're selling you Fortnite. By the way, I like that this is disclosed as an ad by fucking IGN. Fortnite is selling you the original concept of Fortnite as something new. And it's funny because they're doing this now because a lot of these online service games think that it's just the PvP element that people don't like of the online service games. They don't think that it's the fact that people don't want to play online service games. They think it's that, oh, people just want to play against the environment. They don't want to play against other players. That's why you're seeing it now with Fortnite. Oh, here's the PvE mode. PvE mode. And you're seeing it with Arc Raiders, right? Arc Raiders also is like, we're thinking about adding a PvE mode. That's why they're doing this. They think they're going to save it with that, but they're not. A woman who noticed a dog performing strange movements. I don't give a fuck. Dog attack, whatever. Chibi Reviews reacts to a black woman, Grace Seraph, being the English dub voice actor for Pragmata's Japanese character Diana. Both voices are great. I don't give a fuck what the skin color you have. Just do a good job. Yeah. Who gives a shit? Man, tomorrow, set your reminders. All right, cool. I made $7,500 in Tampa and talked to a couple hundred of people over the weekend. The crowd PTP had was just one of the he brought with him. He offered me drugs twice, weed, vape, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I don't give a shit. $75. I don't care. I can't believe what I just watched. Oh, it's the spoof of... Yeah. Remember when they used to make these movies? Spoofs of, like, all these different kinds of movies? They need to go back to that. The scary movie era. Unfortunately, Hollywood essentially killed comedies in hopes to just mine continuous content from existing IPs. That way that they don't have to, actually do the writing and take risks on new ideas. Platinum all 4. The Spain Killer Index remains undefeated. You just know a game will be a banger when all the terminally online leftists on Twitter hate it. Yeah, I don't know if Expedition 33 falls. Expedition 33 was pretty universally loved by everyone until it became popular. And then it wasn't even really just leftists. It was just contrarians who were like, I hate this. It's being glazed. It's overhyped. And it's like, nah, everybody was right about this one. It's good. It's as good as it gets. Stellar Blade, I've heard mixed things about. I don't know anything about Pragmata yet, other than what I've heard. I did see the gameplay. Actually, I wanted to look at that. Black Myth Wukong. I've seen playthroughs of Black Myth Wukong. It's a little bit too Souls-like for me. So, new scary movie will be either really good or really bad. I think that there's two possible things. One, it's either going to be really good, or two, they've shown us everything that's actually funny in the movie in the trailer. That's the two things. Oh, by the way, if you don't think Asha is having a go at PlayStation with this post, she is. One full way to close my first 60 days. And this is fucking Kojima, right? PlayStation's boy Kojima with Xbox's Asha Sharma and Matt Booty at Xbox. Hanging out with Xbox. Wearing the fucking Xbox jacket. This is like seeing Jordan in a Pistons jersey. This is like seeing, to bring it back to NBA. This is like seeing Ronaldo in a Barcelona jersey. Like it's wild. Let's get down here. I was looking for the gameplay video. Where is it? A little bit down here. A little bit down here. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Keep scrolling. Where the fuck are you? Did I save it? I thought... Here it is. So I've heard this described as like Mass Effect Light. Holy shit, that's loud. Oh my God. Okay, I see the influences. Hit him again. Come on, keep hitting him. Alright. Oh, he's almost fucking dead. Spam attack. There we go.
Let's do this.
Yeah, that's not bad. Because they were describing it as like Mass Effect, like the environments look very Mass Effect. I'll say that, and the costume obviously looks very much N7 armor-ish. But I have to say, like, if that's the gameplay, like, this strikes me as one of those games that it's gonna be very easy is going to be very easy. Like, I'll probably have to turn it up. Kami here says, Pragmata is the literal definition of a video game-ass video game. This feels like something straight out of the PS360 era. And it's amazing. Yeah, it looks good. It looks enjoyable. So, like, yeah. All right. We're always disappointed and relieved at the same time. I forgotten that movie, nor do I really care. Unwraps. Why can you do it? Why when you can do it? This is Tipster, by the way. That's nope. Oh, hey. Getting frisky there. Some wild movie. Now we're getting AI wild movies. What? Oh, hey, that's breast milk. Why is Twitter being what? Wait, what? It's all like it's not like prawn, but it's like prawn adjacent. It's getting wild. Yoga pants girls, hot girls, hot dudes looking for epic Mickey. Shout out to that guy. A Chinese-made vehicle descends into Devil's Pit and looks how to get back. Interesting. Nobody cares about the playoffs. Justin Bieber used to smile nonstop. They're always talking some shit on Justin Bieber. Oh. I mean, all right. Nah. It's kind of wild. Cameron Diaz went on Jimmy Fallon's show and did a slow head turn and tiny nod. Why does Cameron Diaz look like a cross between J.K. Rowling and Hillary Clinton? What happened to Cameron Diaz? What happened to Cameron Diaz? Anyway, people in the comments mostly said it's nice to see an actress without a tight facelift, Botox, and filler. I guess. She's definitely had some work done, but personally I find Pragmata's combat ridiculously satisfying. Oh, it's a giant evil baby creature. Especially when it comes to all together and you dispatch enemies with ease. That's pretty good. Melanie Mac's spring break did not go as planned. Hey, yo. Wait for September. Hey, yo, Matt Jarbo. He's really milking the quarter, ain't they? Like, he's also douche nozzle. Like, Asmongold drops some rage bait. Jesus Christ, we let him vote. Woman becomes dumb slut for man who's stronger, taller, smart. Sure. That's definitely what I get there. The average adult human body contains 5 liters of blood. During late pregnancy, blood flow to the uterus increases 600 milliliters per minute. If bleeding from the uterus occurs after delivery, postpartum hemorrhage, the body's entire blood can drain within 10 minutes. Holy shit, dude. Hit me with harsh medical facts. That's pretty harsh. So many people dislike this game, but it's absolutely beautiful. Skyrim? Who dislikes Skyrim? Why is the whole fist in there? I don't know. It probably has to do with the rest of the story. I don't want to read it. I don't care enough. It's probably like if you have internal bleeding, right, from the uterus to stop the bleeding, you have to plug the hole with your fist. I would assume typically with So typically with like C-sections, they cut into you, and then they like basically pull the whole uterus out, and they cut into the uterus, and then they just pull the fucking baby out, like put the uterus back together, put the uterus back into the body, sew the body up, and then that's that. That's how C-sections work. I think. From what I remember it being described to me when my wife had one. So it's not something you want to see. I've seen it done before, not on my wife, but I've seen videos of it done before. It's unsettling. It's unsettling because they open the woman up, they pull the uterus out, and like you could see the like just yellow like uterus sac filled with fluid, and the baby just like moving in there. Like some shit out of like Death Stranding. Literally that. And then they cut into it, and then that shit just opens, and and flows out, and they just pull it in there, pull them out, and then sew it back up. It's wild, dude. And then the body just goes back to normal, like that never happened. It's absolutely wild. We made a shop management simulation game set in medieval fantasy world. Ooh, hey, let's check this out. Let's check this out. Okay. Okay. What the? Just hit him with a book? This seems like a lot. All right. Okay, you need like guards or something? I know. I will say this is showing off a lot of the game. I don't know if it's explaining a lot. Magic brooms? We got magic brooms, boys. Showing us the whole tech tree. Mini games. All right. I guess you can go out and adventure yourself. That's not bad. That's not bad. What did Cagman say? Random Kamala staffer walks up to the podium, self-importantly, does or say nothing, walks away. Kamala's entire campaign in a nutshell. Zero substance, pure self-aggrandizement. Thank God we didn't have to suffer 4 years. Alright, cool. It'd be interesting. I wonder what Cagman's opinion of the Pragmata bullshit is. Because Cagman's kind of a dumbass. I wonder if I bet it's all politics. I bet he hasn't commented on it. Yeah, it's just all politics. He's moved into the realm where he's just all politics now. Yeah. 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 Well, this is giving me Sea of Thieves vibes, but with Magic House Building Simulator. Yeah, it does have the like similar art style to like Sea of Thieves. You see the inspiration here. I don't know. It looks like it could be fun. It looks like one of those games that it would take a lot of hours to get to a point where it would be really involved and fun. And it's like one of those things where it's like, is the amount of time I'm going to spend to get to where I want to be worth the payoff that I'm going to put into it? But it has, yeah, that Sea of Thieves vibes, but also like almost Fable vibes to it. Yeah. Did 2 things. Purchase complete, Pragmata. This item will delete from console store. Yeah, Nicola didn't like Crimson Desert because, like, he had to... Here's the thing. I get why you don't... Some people might not like Crimson Desert. I don't think the game is perfect. I think it's a 7 out of 10, maybe. Like 6.5, 7 out of 10. I don't think that, like, it's as bad as, like, he hates on it. And, you know, it's not Sony. It's not PlayStation fully, so, like, he doesn't give a shit. Like, now this game he's going to shill, I think, because it has... I think Pragmata has Sony backing. So, this 24 in 1-inch screwdriver fits in your pocket. What, the Allen wrench? Yeah. It's an Allen wrench. Shocking. And let's see. I don't care. Oh, the fucking... Why am I getting ads? Why am I getting the Pussy Pocket ads? I don't get it. I think that's the same ads if I'm being... This is undisclosed ad for OnlyFans content creator. Hey, Twitch. I can just... God. Why they... I saw somebody post that video and they were like, why am I out here struggling for content or whatever when these girls can just come out and do this? And it's like, well, that's the trade-off, man. Girls can make money doing that shit, and you can, I don't know, beat them in a fight probably, ever, for always. Yeah, that's how it is. GTA Online player manages to capture the Gooch, randomly spawning NPC that steals your catch. I'm not gonna watch all that. Nope. In Birds of Prey 2020, Margot Robbie was so allergic to chicken egg whites that the production had to find something else for a sandwich scene. They ended up using duck eggs for every take to prevent her from having migraines caused by chicken eggs. First off, that's weird to just be allergic to the whites of chicken eggs. Also, duck eggs are massive, and they're both avian, so I don't really know like what is in the chicken eggs versus the duck eggs that's causing that. You're getting those ads because of your search history. Delete those cookies, sir. I didn't even search anything. I don't know. See, look at this. This is an ad. I think it says ad. I don't know. This Lord of the Rings are blah, blah, blah. That's actually kind of a cool shirt. Right. I don't. I'll be fair though. I will see the occasional thirst trap post and just like click on it to be like, what's this? How wild is this account? And that's probably, those interactions are probably adding up. Those interactions are probably adding up. Smart kids. I should have been buying at age 2. Yeah, the housing market's fucked. Elvin made in. I can't say I understand, man, but I know this. My man would defend any woman or child if they were in danger. Yeah, you know, we don't also talk about that. The whole concept of superheroes exists purely to just like save people that, especially children, that aren't theirs. And like take care of people and protect people that aren't possessed by them. So like, I don't know. Is that Ray William Johnson? That's an old, is it old? 20 years ago, one of the greatest movies, Apocalypto. I saw Apocalypto once, and it was Mel Gibson's take on the Aztec Empire. What was the elite narcissism? I don't care. Oh, we've hit Smash JT again. That Caligula video. I don't know. Fucking pocket pussy. Fucking ad that I don't know why it keeps popping up. Every person who voted no today in Virginia. Oh yeah, I forget that like Ahmed Asligan lives in Virginia or whatever. All right, let's go up. We lost another nominated actor to that family. Kendall Jenner and Jacob Elordi, I always say his fucking name wrong, have been quietly hanging out for months. Oh, good luck with that. 2 power fantasies: save people and destroy your enemies. Yeah. It's the old. That goes back to what Conan the Barbarian, right? Crush your enemies, enjoy the lamentations of their women, something like that. There is something that starts with an M, which would be very helpful to them. It's men, yeah, we get it. They can't pull the hay. Morning power drink. I saw this for the first time. What do you think it's for? It's probably for back alignment, right? The massagers. Is yeah. Yeah, dude. You won't listen. Like, women hate to be tickled. Let's just put that out there. Like, they will straight up fight you if you try to tickle them. And the more your woman hates to be tickled, the more you want to do it. And my wife absolutely hates to be fucking tickled. Like, it's visceral. It's immediate violent reactions. And it just makes me want to do it more. Because it makes me laugh. And it brings out the sadistic part of me. So yeah. Fate fan art, live action. Oh, she smacked herself in the titty with the fucking bow and arrow. Because you don't understand how difficult archery is. Yep. People forget, like, this is a big gripe, actually, with what was it? One of the many gripes with the movie Braveheart is that when they call for the archers in Braveheart, they're these like spindly, thin guys. And archers typically, some of the archers were like the stoutest, like thickest dudes in the like army, in the military, because those bows took a lot of fucking strength to plant your feet in and like draw back. All right. What is this? All right. Spider-Man in Crimson Desert. Oh, somebody modded Spider-Man in Crimson Desert. I mean, that works. I think there's, the fucking claw, you can swing yourself with that. Jesus. It's just attacking them all. Anyway. I don't know who that is. Oh yeah, that was the movie where they all have the fucking they all gasm together. The woman in the background wishing she would have thought of that. So you stand up. I don't get it. She couldn't believe her eyes. Changed her bra in public. Skip. Throwing Hugh to protect. Why are they? It's foreign. I'll give him a pass. It's not how you spell Hugh. Protect Diana from the enemy attack. That's nice. That was satisfying. He's just cleaning up fucking grass. The Dad Space Simulator Pragmata is sitting at 26,000 players, while Independent Medieval Lesbian Simulator 1348 Xvideo has a whopping 0 players. That's right, not even the developers are playing. Fatherhood wins again. Well, I would say that Xvoto has been out for a while now. It's a relatively short action-adventure game, and it is shit. Legitimately shit. I watched it played. Didn't play it myself, because fuck that. I watched it played, and it's terrible. What's the word? The word is, hopefully, failed channel. Because, yeah. Mom forgot that dad ain't 25 anymore. Girls doing fucking TikTok dances. Has a full-on mental breakdown over the class using ChatGPT. I want to feel like it's staged, and I don't feel like that's the professor. Capcom is 2026 peak. Yeah, they did, yeah. Well, importance of occupational safety. Yeah. Wear your protective gear if you learn anything about that. Okay, what time is it? All right, we've been going for 3 hours. It's 1 a.m. here local time. I think that's enough doom scrolling. We've seen enough accidental vaginas, fake vaginas, and other stuff. Goon adjacent stuff to last us. And yeah. Pretty good stream. Hope you guys have enjoyed. We will have more videos out 1 a.m. Week. It's 11 p.m. for me. Well, you know what? I don't live on the West Coast, okay? I live in a place where, like, I'm not ruled by communists, okay? Jack of all casuals. Okay. I can still, I'm not getting taxed out of my asshole because I have a petroleum engine based car here. All right, West Side. Yeah, actually, I haven't been to the West Coast. The West Coast is like the one place, like, I've never actually been somewhere to. I've been to the East Coast, but anyway. Hope you guys are had a good night, had a good stream. I know I had a good stream. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. We'll have videos in the meantime. I should have a video coming out tomorrow. I wanted to put the video out today. It just didn't happen because I had project stuff around the house that I had to do. Finding the time to get everything done. I realize why content creators like don't put out as much content as they really want to or say they want to. It's just because it takes so much time. The editing takes so much time. You got so much stuff, especially if you work like me. So anyway, really appreciate you guys, all the lurkers, all the people catching on the VOD, Jack of all casuals in the chat. We will see you guys again next week on this show, Doom Scrollcast, on Tuesdays, 10 p.m. And we will also have the gaming stream on Thursday this week. Probably going to be playing something not Crimson Desert, maybe going back to Fable. I don't know, but it might be something different. We might be playing something like Windrose or an independent game. I don't think it will be Pragmata. I don't think I'm going to pick up Pragmata just because that seems like a game I can wait on. But hope you guys had a good night. We'll see you again later. And yeah, bye.